I'm Edwin Warfield, publisher of Citybiz, and I'm honored today to interview Trevor Koskovich, the president for investment sales for NorthMarq. Welcome, Trevor.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Edwin. I appreciate it.
Let's talk a little bit about your career. Can you share some of your highlights from your career?
Really my most prestigious highlight has been becoming the president of investment sales for NorthMarq. I've been in the investment brokerage business for the better part of 13 years and have enjoyed an excellent brokerage career with a lot of great clients and great opportunities, a number of large transactions. We're just wrapping up a $236 million portfolio transaction, but none has been quite as accomplished or as exciting as the opportunity to build, lead, and develop the direction of NorthMarq's investment sale platform.
Can you provide us an overview of the NorthMarq multifamily sales platform, your annual production volume, what portion of your NorthMarq's loan servicing portfolio is multifamily?
Right. So NorthMarq's investment sale platform is still very much in its infancy. We started in April of 2018, so we're just wrapping up month 29 now. We're across 15 markets, generally across the U.S. and in the Sun Belt, and that's fully integrated inside of our mortgage banking business. We're projecting 2021 revenues to be somewhere around $10 billion in investment sales, almost exclusively in multifamily, but also in manufactured housing. So it's really a platform that's built, that's still very much growing, and we're looking to continue to expand our footprint across the United States.
So yeah, let's talk about the actual offices and teams that you've added over the last year or two, and which cities that you're hoping to target in 2021?
Yeah, our most recent acquisitions have been in Denver, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Los Angeles, obviously Richmond, which led us to this call today, San Antonio, and Austin. So to say the growth has been rapid would be an understatement. We really are dramatically pushing our growth, and we're hoping to continue to integrate across our mortgage banking platform. For 2021, we have a number of markets that we're targeting across the U.S. We'd love to continue our expansion into the Northeast, as well as in the Midwest, and backfilling in some of our other markets that are immediately connected to places where we've recently grown. So expect a lot of announcements for us as we continue to work hard and diligently to find people that are both a cultural fit and have an opportunity to see the value in what we're developing here at NorthMarq.
So let's talk a little bit about your expansion into Mid-Atlantic. You recently added Wink Ewing and Michael Marshall and Renee Riley. Can you tell us about their backgrounds?
Yeah, so fantastic people that have been in this business and producing at a high level for a number of years. Mike, obviously, who has a fantastic track record, was previously on the principal side. Wink Ewing, who was with another brokerage firm and transacting, across the greater Hampton Roads and Newport News, along with Northern Virginia and southern kind of part of Washington, D.C., who's got a great name and a great reputation in the industry. And then they've added Ryan, who's a young guy and has had an opportunity to form with them a really formidable team who I think can help us cover the great Mid-Atlantic region, which is very transactional and very desirable from an investment standpoint.
And so can you give us provides an overview of some of the investment sales and recent closings?
Yeah, so we're working on a number of transactions here in the market. We've been an industry leader in the build-to-rent space. As I had mentioned, we're in the process of wrapping up a $235 million portfolio or $236 million portfolio. We've also been very active in the value add space across the platform. So we're in the market today with 2,700 plus units in Dallas. We're wrapping up a highly institutional plus $100 million transaction in Denver. And we're representing some of the best developers in the industry in Southern California. Our footprint, our ability to deliver equity in the marketplace has also been rather robust. We look at what we're doing there in Southern Florida, along with a number of other institutional quality transactions in Tampa. The team really is accelerating, and we're finding our integration to continue to expand what we're trying to accomplish, which has been really good. I feel like our ability to transact at both the private capital space along with the institutional quality investments has been fantastic, and we look to grow and expand them.
So what have been some of the implications of COVID and the economic turmoil on the multifamily market?
Well, we look at COVID and its impact on our business in two real core facets. One is, what is it doing to the operational business? Operationally, we certainly held our breath there at the beginning of the second quarter as people started to try and understand how things were going to go from a collection standpoint. I would say that in the markets that are less regulated, we've continued to see collections hold up. These are mostly in the high growth markets, places like North Carolina, Texas, Arizona, Florida, where maybe there have been less restrictions related to the coronavirus. We've also watched in some other markets that are a little bit tighter from a coronavirus management, like California, the Northeast, where the regulations have made it a little bit trickier to do that. So overall, collections have held up. That's one real core facet. And then obviously from a sales standpoint, we saw the market drop off pretty dramatically, virtually to no transactions in the second quarter, except for some kind of hangers that were from the first quarter. So we've seen a tremendous return to the transactional volume in today's marketplace. We're actually back on track. We're seeing in some markets that we're going to achieve similar growth levels that we saw maybe in 2019 from a transaction standpoint. So transactionally, we're back. Collections have held up a little bit better than we thought. Obviously, the federal administration's ability to keep the stimulus package out and alive has had a material impact on that. So we'll see how that continues. I think everyone's kind of waiting, watching, being patient, and holding some cautious optimism that the recovery in today's economy will be more V-shaped than a longer, more prolonged recovery in the marketplace.
And so where do you see investment sales ramping up?
I think we're going to continue to see investment sales ramp up mostly in the low regulated, highly desirable growth markets in the Sun Belt. These are going to be places like Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Texas, Georgia, North and South Carolina, along with Florida, and all the way up to Washington, D.C. Where we're seeing more of an exodus are from the larger cities that have seen people leave as a ramification of COVID and more stifling regulation. Those are going to be California, Washington, New York, Chicago, Illinois, so to speak. So we're seeing market transactions decline there and moving into more highly transactable places like Nashville, Tennessee, for example.
And so what is the market for distressed multifamily deals?
I think there were a lot of people that thought that we were going to see another '09 kind of recreation of the great financial recession that we had seen in the past. There really hasn't been, by and large, distressed buying opportunities in multifamily. We're not really forecasting there to be any at this point. It certainly has held up well. When we look at things like multifamily, it's in the food, water, shelter category. I think people need a place to live. And so as a ramification, people have stayed. And there's a lot of other government entities, including Fannie, Freddie, and other groups that are focused on maintaining livability for people in today's marketplace. And so I don't really foresee any kind of distress in the market. We could see some pullback in rental rates as a general statement in some of these larger coastal city markets. But for the most part, the industry is strong, and we're not forecasting any serious pullback as it would relate to distress.
And so who are the primary lenders in this arena?
Yeah, it continues to be Fannie and Freddie today. It's fair to say that those agencies have been the number one procurement of debt in today's marketplace both from an acquisition and refinance opportunity. In a market like this, we've also seen the acceleration of HUD debt being used, and we are seeing people use FHA financing to get more long-term debt in today's low interest rate environment to lock in. So it really is the agencies. The insurance companies have been a little slow to catch up with today's interest rate environment. Also, local and regional banks in the private capital space continue to expand their ability to transact. So we are seeing a lot of debt re-enter the market. The bridge funds were mostly on hold. They seem to have re-entered the marketplace and will continue to expand as they get a little bit more comfortable in today's market.
And can you describe the trends that you're seeing on the equity side?
You know, on the equity side, we mostly saw institutional groups pull back over the last, let's call it 4 to 6 months. They seem to be re-entering the market in a slow but methodical and pragmatic way. We'll continue to see that expand, I would think, in the fourth and into the first quarter of next year. Private capital space continues to be robust and high in demand. Syndicators and high net worth individuals that continue to deploy capital in today's current economic and market conditions continues to see large demand. So that's where we're seeing most of the equity. Equity funds, who did take a little break there like everybody else in the second quarter, seem to be back. So equity is coming from a variety of places, and we continue to see new groups entering the space in today's market. And I think we're going to continue to do so going forward.
And so what is your outlook for multifamily?
I think the outlook for the rest of the year, I think fourth quarter is going to be great. I think we really expect a high transaction volume that will be consistent with what we saw in the first quarter of this year pre-COVID. I think we're going to continue to see expansion in 2021. I think we're going to continue to see exodus of capital from the higher regulated markets like Oregon, California, and Washington. We're going to continue to see that money go into the high growth markets like Texas and Arizona and Georgia and Florida, for example. So I think the current trend that we're seeing today will be something that people will continue to build on. As we have low interest rates, we're going to continue to see compression in cap rates. I think it wouldn't be that surprising to see cap rates come in another 25 or 50 basis points from where they are today, based on demand, based on institutional groups coming back into the market, and the continued kind of strength in multifamily today. So I think the current trends are alive and well, and they're going to continue in a much larger and vast way in the days ahead.
Is there anything you want to add to this interview?
I think this interview has touched on a number of great factors. I'd just like to say that we're really excited about the development and growth of NorthMarq and its investment sale platform, its integration into our fantastic mortgage banking firm that's been around for many, many years and decades in the industry. And we look to continue to support this industry both in a legislative and real constructive way. We appreciate the time and consideration you gave us, and we certainly appreciate you letting us share our side of the industry and the market and our story. And so thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing your time and your story.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much, Edwin.